Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ance Armstrong back again, and today we're coming at you with more roster updates, with the final roster update of the regular season and MLB The Show 21. Absolutely wild to think we're almost already in the playoffs in the MLB. Seems like just yesterday we were getting the season started, but we still have one roster update left here of the regular season. So we're gonna go through and break down who I'm looking at to get upgraded this week, and MLB The Show 21 roster update dropping this Friday, October 1st, with a ton of other content coming as well. The first guy we're looking at, it shouldn't come as much of a surprise. Definitely the most expensive guy we're talking about today is Tyler ONeal. We've been mentioning Tyler ONeal for quite some time. We first mentioned him back a couple updates ago when he was just an 81 overall and a quick sell gold. If you had been stocking him up from that point, you're about to cash in a major way. We called this from quite a ways out after looking at some of his peripheral stats, seeing who's really due to get on fire and get hot. He's been on fire. He's been hot. He's got 11 home runs so far in September with a 310 average. So he can get a bump to pretty much all of his hitting stats, both contact and power. He has that diamond defense that's holding him up in terms of his overall, and that's really what's propelling him so far to an 84. But the way he's been hitting with 11 home runs, definitely deserving of a power upgrade at minimum, and that's going to get him up to an 85. I think it's finally his time. Didn't get it last update, and he had a pretty good shot then. He's only been better since that time. Take a look at his price. Hey, he's 4,600 stubs on the sell now, but he does present a good opportunity to come in and get some of those pre-orders in. So whenever he does go diamond, you already got some orders in that are sub 5K. You can come in and cash in on that sense with someone who's a real safe bet like Tyler ONeal. The next guy we're looking at, not much of a surprise here either, is Luis Robert Lubob. He has been absolutely insane since coming back from the injury he suffered early on this year. He's 367 with 4 home runs here in the month of September so far, so he can get even a contact upgrade from where he's at, and maybe even a slight power boost from his current numbers as well. He's got some solid fielding to help prop up his overall as well, so he's not solely dependent on his hitting attributes. He's been on an absolute tear this month. Definitely one of the future young stars of this league. So many young stars in the MLB right now. Luis Robert is the next of that crop, and I think he is deserving and is going to be going diamond with this roster update. I think it's finally his time. Both him and Tyler ONeal, we don't say very many cards are locks, if ever. But if I was going to say two were, it would be Lubob and Tyler ONeal. Take a look at his price, 3,800. So a little bit less than Tyler ONeal so far, at a price point where there's at least still some slight room to come in and make a little bit of profit. And he's also a lower level for some of those pre-orders as well, if you want to go in and put in some of those on these cards. This guy we're looking at here is Javi Bias. He's an 84. Again, a guy with diamond defense, so just needs a little bit of a bump to get up to a diamond overall, and he's been playing real well. One of the best hitters, hottest hitters in the league over the past month or so. He's on a 10-game hit streak right now, so he's hot in the moment, swinging the bat well. You look at his card as well, and there's one attribute that stands out, that contact versus righties. Just a 58 contact versus righties. That stands out as a big area that has room to grow. You know, we like looking for cards with room to grow. If they don't have room to be upgraded, tough for them to get upgraded at that point. Javi Bias, a lot of room to go there on his contact versus right, and even better in the month of September in 21 games. So not a small sample size. It's not like he hasn't been hitting versus righties. 21 games versus right-handed pitchers in the month of September. He is batting 382 over that span. So a pretty significant sample size there to be hitting 382. Definitely deserving of a bump to his contact versus right. Probably a pretty significant bump. And with him being so close to being a diamond at 84 overall, he doesn't need much of a bump at all. He could be a guy who even gets up to an 86 or so if they give him a solid bump to his contact that he deserves there. Hitting the ball well, both sides of the plate, of course, are really showing out more versus righties than he has so far this year, and that's going to be where he's able to get upgraded and where he has room to grow to get up to that diamond tier. You take a look at his price right now, 31.75, so a little bit more inexpensive than our last two guys that we looked at. A little bit more risk tied to Javi, although I do think he is a relatively safe play overall. Slightly more risk than we have with Lubob or Tyler ONeal, and the price reflects that, but I still think he's pretty close to being on that lock level with how good he's been playing. He also has the precedent of being a diamond before in the past, and that definitely carries some weight as they use some of that 3-year average still. He's been an incredible player before. He's been a diamond player before. He has that capability. I see him getting back there with this update. Our last gold to diamond player that we are looking at, it is Harrison Bader. The thing I love about Harrison Bader is his defense is propping up his overall so much. He's an 83 right now, and you look at his hitting attributes, they're pretty abysmal. He is carried entirely by his defense with the 95 fielding, 75 arm, 83 accuracy, 96 reaction, and the 95 speed. That is carrying his 83 overall, because it's not going to be 60 contact, 60 power, 43 contact, 70 power. That's not going to carry his overall. So again, you look at a card that has room to grow. If Bader becomes a good hitter, he has a ton of room to grow in those attributes. It'll be a similar play to what we saw with Joey Gallo earlier on this year. He was an 81 and went up to diamond because his contact ratings were so low. He was playing above those. He got that boost that he needed, a significant boost, because it was so terribly low. And we take a look at Harrison Bader's numbers over the last month. He's batting .444 versus lefties with just a 43 contact rating in game, and he's batting .359 with 6 home runs overall in the month of September. Those stats right there, .359 overall, .444 versus lefties, 6 homers overall, 2 of those were versus lefties. That is a player who is deserving of much better stats than a 65 contact right, a 43 contact left, a 60 power right, and a 70 on the power left. He's deserving of much better attributes than that with how he's played in the past month. He only needs a +2 to get up to diamond, so he doesn't need anything crazy in terms of attribute boost. Even though he's probably deserving of some pretty significant bumps, he doesn't need crazy bumps to get up to that 85, just needing the +2 overall. I like Harrison Bader a lot. He's probably the guy of the people that we talk about. Definitely some risk involved with him because he needs some solid boosts, and this has been the best month he's been hitting, so maybe SDS views is a little bit more of an outlier, but he definitely has the most room to grow of anyone we've been talking about in this update. We take a look at his locations, 3,300 on the sell now, so similarly priced to Javi Bias. Comparing the two, I probably like Javi at that 3K range a little bit better, being just needing a +1, but Bader definitely has the most room to grow of anyone that we're looking at in this update. Now looking at our silver to golds, I'll say this out the gate, at this point in the year, silver to golds are tough. A lot of people in that silver tier category who have been playing well enough to become golds, there already are golds. They've become golds already throughout the course of the year, so there aren't too many people chilling down in the silver range, especially after that last update brought up a ton of people from silver to gold. But there's still some guys that I'm looking at here with varying levels of possibility. The first guy we're looking at, I will admit, a little bit of a long shot, but once you see his price, you'll realize the value that he holds compared to his chances of getting an upgrade. It's Andrew Benintendi. I don't know if a lot of people are just overlooking him on that Royals team or what's happening there, but he has hit .347 with 4 home runs in the month of September. That 4 home runs, more homers than he's had in any other month this year, a higher average than any other month he's had either. He's got okay fielding holding him up. He's a 78 right now, and you see +11 to his contact and power versus right gets him to an 81, so he doesn't need a crazy boost to get that +2. With batting .347 this month, I don't think it's out of the question that he can get some contact upgrades with 4 homers this month. Maybe get some slight power upgrades as well, as 61 and 40 are really low in the grand scheme of things. That's saying he's around and below league average, and his contact is right at slightly above league average levels, even though he hit 347 this month. So certainly not a lock in any stretch of the matter, but I don't think he has zero chance to go up either. I think he's got some possibility. The best part about him, we'll scroll over to his locations. He is 114 on the sell now. So here's the beauty of this. At this price, it is impossible for you to lose Stubs. At worst case, at 114, you're actually turning a solid profit regardless, because you can take, I believe, 5 of these 78s and exchange them for 1 gold. So if you're taking 5 cards at 114 Stubs a piece and turning it into 1 gold that quick sells for 1,000 Stubs, you can't lose Stubs if Benintendi were to not go up. And of course, if he does go up, you're turning 114 Stubs into 1,000 Stubs each. So I like Benintendi, especially for his 114 price point. I think he's undervalued in the market right now. I think he's got an outside shot here of getting an upgrade to his contact and possibly sneaking into that gold tier with how he's played over the past month. The next guy we're looking at here, he should be a gold probably already by now. It's Austin Riley, probably one of the safer bets to go gold in this update period. Now you look at his card, he needs his boost versus lefties. He's got what he's got versus righties. That's probably not moving. And he doesn't have a whole lot of defense to help him out, but his contact and power versus lefties, both with some room to grow. So we really need to break it down and see what is Austin Riley doing versus lefties in the past month. He's hit 364 over lefties in September, currently on a 12-game hitting streak as well. So not only has he hit lefties well in the last month, he's hot in general. I think he finally gets that boost to contact, maybe a little bit of power versus lefties that bumps him up into that gold tier finally, as Austin Riley, really a breakout year this year. Been one of the better stories we've seen so far in baseball. You look at his price, he is a little bit more expensive, $673, but even still, that's not an awful profit margin. Going from $673, you can quick sell at 1,000 when he goes gold. That's a pretty 300 plus Stubs profit margin right there. If you have solid volume, ain't nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. I like Austin Riley a lot. He's playing well. He's hot. He's hitting lefties. That's where he struggled this year. I think he finally gets that upgrade versus lefties, and he finally gets to that gold tier, which he deserves. The last guy we're looking at here in our final regular season roster update of MLB The Show 21 is Frankie Montes. Frankie has been on a tear since the All-Star break, has been absolutely dominant. Really had a great year overall, but especially since that All-Star break has been crushing his opponents. You look at his card, he's got room to grow the most. Both his hits per 9 and his Ks per 9 definitely has some room to grow. When we look at his Ks per 9 specifically, post All-Star break, he has a 10.56 Ks per 9. That is definitely deserving of a significant upgrade over a 65 rating in game. He has lots of room to grow on that front. He has been walking a few more people, especially in the last month. So if there's something that could possibly hold him back from going up to gold, it's maybe getting a slight reduction to his walks per 9 to offset any additions he gets to his hits per 9 and Ks per 9. I still think he's got a pretty solid shot overall. Definitely no locks within our silver category, as they're a bit harder to predict again at this time of the year. But I think he's got solid room to grow. Been pitching really well. We look at his locations, 526 on the sell now. So just about doubling up your Stubs if you invest in Frankie Montes at his current price point and he were to get upgraded. Nothing wrong with doubling up your Stubs. We take that. We're a fan of that. That's a pretty solid return on our investments from what we're looking at. So there you have it. The 7 guys that I'm looking at getting upgraded this week, and it will be the show 21, our last roster update of the regular season. Of course, we will still have one more after the postseason, so we're going to be watching the postseason closely and seeing how those players perform to see who could be getting upgraded from that point. As always, let me know down in the comment section below, who am I missing, who am I overlooking, who's going to be upgraded that I'm not talking about. I'm gonna miss the roster updates for that specifically because I love chatting baseball with all of y'all down in the comment section below. So let me know, hit me up in the comments, leave it below. Who are you investing in for this update? Maybe I've been sleeping on somebody I need to go invest in some more. As always, you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed the roster update videos, you made some Stubs off of any of our roster updates throughout the year, go a like and subscribe on the video as part of our appreciation. Until next time though, I'll catch y'all around.